Mr. Somebody. What? A strange name. Not ordinary. She raised her head and took another puff of the pipe between her two fingers. Purple rings wavered in front of her dark eyes. Mr. Somebody slid away, across the polished wood floor. Avinash Pillai, standing on the second-class deck of the elegant Aphrodite as it waited out in the Gulf, was unaware of my mother, or me. He was busy sniffing the air like a wild animal, his eyes closed, his nose lifted towards the dappled firmament. As the sun set, the land was expelling the breath it had been holding all day. The young Indian man, fed up with the smell of coal and cold iron, which had permeated the day's long sea voyage, was inhaling the pleasant aroma of flowers and grass, rose, lemon, magnolia, jasmine, and deep down, a touch of amber. Avinash's nose was long and delicate, as noble as an Ottoman sultan's. As he identified each fragrance, he savoured its tone and essence as if it were a tasty morsel with which he was breaking his fast. Especially the roses. Even with his eyes shut, he could distinguish a white rose from a red one. Somewhere ashore, in the city whose pink lights were dancing on the sea, lived a man named Yakumi. Neither the beautiful city nor its legendarily beautiful women interested the young man. His entire mind was set on the dim room which Yakumi had mentioned in his letters. In the workshop behind his pharmacy, the elderly chemist extracted oil from the petals of the rarest roses brought from the four corners of the empire. What is this captain waiting for now? That freight will move away and make room for him, probably. On the brightly lit upper deck, the first-class passengers, gentlemen in frock coats and bowler hats, with expensive cigars splitting their lips, grumbled as if they had not already patiently voyaged from Alexandria to Rhodes, from there to Leros, then to Chios, and finally to Smyrna. "Not so, sir. That freighter will not move. Don't you see it has drawn up to that barge? It's coal. That one's got to be loaded yet. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the ship that's loading the bales of tobacco. It's been standing there for 20 minutes. This ship won't go into the harbour, gentlemen. Its waters are shallow, and captains who don't know this are always running aground on the rocks. There's nothing for it but to wait for the rowing boats." The sounds coming from the quay, the ringing of tram bells, the rattling of carriage wheels, the clanging of horseshoes, reminded the gentlemen of pleasures they had forgotten during the sea voyage. Some of them even swore that they could hear the laughter of women drifting out of the nightclubs along the quay. Surrounded by whistling pilot boats, multicoloured sailing boats, and freight and passenger ships passing each other and then vanishing on the china-blue waters, the gentlemen checked the time on their pocket watches every minute on the minute. To be this close to shore and not be able to step out upon it is intolerable, my dear friends. Where could the rowing boats be? Avinash had walked to the afterdecks. When he was certain that no one was watching, he clasped his palms together over his breast. As he was now working in the service of the British Empire, it was important to give the appearance of a European. However, he was also the grandson of a hermit who awaited God's mercy as he lived out his final years in a monastery in the foothills of the Himalayas. It was time to give thanks to the mighty Creator who had protected him throughout the difficult days and stormy nights. First from Colombo to Port Said, then on the dark train to Alexandria, and from there to Smyrna, on the Aphrodite. He turned his face towards the sun, which was melting into the sea like a scoop of red ice cream, and closed his eyes. Om Namah Shivayam. O mighty Shiva, we give thanks to you for protecting us from being shipwrecked and from disasters, horrors, illnesses, and epidemics, and for bringing us to the shores of this lovely city. He had said his prayers ever since childhood, and not only to the god Shiva, whom his family favoured, but also to the